to say that they would prefer to see the hurling after the football. I must explain to you that our agreement with the BBC, who supplied the pictures from the Ulster Championship, stipulates that the football comes last on the programme. Anyway, you'd simply have to give pride of place to this Munster final today. Now, according to all the experts, it had to be Tipperary for a fourth provincial title in a row. But right from the off, it was obvious it would not be that simple. Your commentator at Semple Stadium, Thurles, is Ger Canning.
Change, very good guess. Game is on.
We're sorry we've lost the sound at the top of our tape from Thurles, but we'll be picking up on that in just a moment.
First provincial decider, Cork field a team with 7 newcomers to Munster final day. Among them wing-back Shawnee McCarthy and Kieran McGuckin, and the midfield duo of Pat Buckley and Brendan O'Sullivan. However, at 6'5", newcomer Mark Foley certainly has the physique to trouble Tip, while Ger Fitzgerald and Kevin Hennessy shared 4 goals and 6 points in the semi-final. The only Munster final experience Sean O'Gorman here has got is in extra time in Killarney 3 years ago, a game of course which started Tip's run of success. The referee today, John Moore of Dungarvan, who was also in charge of the stirring 1984 clash between these counties. And the 101st Munster hurling final is underway, and it's Tip under pressure with Mark Foley advancing. Good shoulder. He leaves it behind, however. That's Paul Delaney getting it forward. Kieran McGuckin trying to stem the tide. Nice pick up by Joe Hayes. Ducked in towards Nicky English. Dennis Walsh going back. And passed it to Shawnee McCarthy. Towards Tony O'Sullivan's wing. Donald Bonner is his marker this afternoon. John Kennedy, Tipperary captain. Declan Ryan. Neither side making much headway so far. Jim Cashman. Neatly caught. Nice sidestep as well by Tony O'Sullivan. Inside the 45 metres. Cork looking for the opening score. And Tony O'Sullivan supplies it to them. As Cork seek to register their 45th Munster victory this afternoon. Conal Bonner. Cork leading by the only point we've had in the first 5 minutes of this Munster final. Pat Fox. Back towards Michael Cleary. Brought down by Kieran McGuckin. Cleary once again. Expected the ball to come his way. English to try and keep it in play against John Considine. Trying to make a better angle for himself. Floated in. Fox going in there for it. Comes back out towards English. Jim Cashman blocked it down. And it's Conor Stapleton who puts it over the bar. Sides on level terms. Conor Stapleton from Borrisolay getting the Tip equalising score. John Lahey running across. Perfectly fair shoulder it seemed, but Lahey was protesting about something. Brendan O'Sullivan, a good pick-up. This is a tenacious performance by Cork in these opening minutes. Ger Fitzgerald from well out the field, and he's put it over the bar, and Cork go back in front once again. Ger Fitzgerald, who won an All-Ireland medal 4 years ago.
Down the centre, John.
John Madden. Stopped by Mark Foley. Sean Kennedy, Parlous, as Tony O'Sullivan comes forward looking for his own second point of the match, and again he's quite unerring with his finish. Cork leading by 2 points, 3 points to 1. Tony O'Sullivan, who missed the semi-final because of a hand injury, making his presence felt. Quarter of an hour gone, and Cork lead by 3 points to 1. Here's Buckley. Wherever he runs, there's a Tipperary man. Fitzgibbon, neat control on the boss. Swept inside towards Ger Fitzgerald, there against Bobby Ryan. Kevin Hennessy tried to make a diagonal run to isolate Bobby Ryan in front of goal, and it breaks for Mark Foley. And it's gone over the bar. Cork's 4th point, the first for Mark Foley. Jim Cashman. Ger Fitzgerald, magnificent catch against Bobby Ryan, who's clearly in some trouble against Ger Fitzgerald. Cork again raiding, but Paul Delaney did really well to hook the forward and prevent him from getting in the shot. And Bobby Ryan, number 4, will breathe a mighty sigh of relief, I think. Here's Conal Bonner. Lovely pick-up. Good stylish play across towards Conor Stakelum. Stakelum has got tips only points so far, and now he's got another one. Well, an inspirational choice to play him at left half forward. Firing well over on that left-hand side, and he's the one who gets tips opening 2 points in this Munster final. David Quirk. Driving it in towards the inside forwards, Ger Fitzgerald. Again trying to steal inside Bobby Ryan, and again the defence in trouble of Ken Hogan, and the goalkeeper comes to their rescue, and it's Noel Sheehy who completes the clearance. Well, Ken Hogan has made some very fine saves in his time, many of them of a very spectacular nature. This one was more of an interception, being in the right place at the right time, as Ger Fitzgerald was coming through, having beaten Bobby Ryan. The goalkeeper doing well, may have come off his legs, and Noel Sheehy swept it away from danger. Michael Cleary going to be the taker. There has been outstanding form at club level lately, and he's cut it back to just a 1-point position, 4 points to 3, with his first point of the afternoon. Not the first point we've had from a free, I think. So 10 minutes to go to half-time. Quite a low-scoring match. Cork still leading by 4 points to 3. Looking for the opening goal as Ken Hogan comes out and makes a fine save. That's a great piece of goalkeeping. Nothing flashy about it, but good solid style. A fine catch and a good delivery as he looked up to spot Joe Hayes in the space. John Considine. He's doing well at right corner back. Sarsman against Conor Stakelum. Two of the players who would not have experienced Munster final day activity in the past. Shawnee McCarthy. John Kennedy, beaten by Mark Foley. The tall man trying to make his presence felt, and doing so with a vengeance. He's got his second point, and Cork extend their lead to 5 points to 3. Joe Hayes. Again, the Cork defence committing themselves. 2 men going for that one ball, and they were lucky to get away with it. Dennis Walsh gets it out into the centre. David Quirk here, the Middleton youngster, who might well be happier back in a half-back position. But making his presence felt in the attack just now, and he boots it high and he's put it over the bar. A first point in the game for David Quirk, a 6th point for Cork. The side who were rank outsiders going into the contest in this, the 29th clash between these counties in a Munster hurling final. He was racing past Paul Delaney, and finally he resorted to the boot to belt it over Ken Hogan's crossbar. Back live, however. It's a goal! Michael Cleary has put the sides on level terms. Straight from the puck out. Sides on level terms. The goal by Michael Cleary after 28 minutes of the first half. John Considine beaten for once as Cleary went by. John Kennedy waits, collects, delivering with the hand to John Lahey. Kieran McGuckin tries to close it down, but forlornly as Lahey has put it over the bar. Gets his first point, and Tipco in front for the first time in the match. Hayes once again, the architect of so much of their good play from midfield. He's certainly providing the ammunition. Nicky English, little off colour in the opening 30 minutes. Showing some speed now, and showing his class from the 45-metre line. Gets his first point. And now 4 of the Tipperary forward line has scored in the game. Tipperary now in flowing style. Watches English, picked it up on the left-hand side, raced across, ahead there of Dennis Walsh. Lobbed it over the bar, and that's now a goal and 3 points in the last couple of minutes. Declan Ryan. Declan Carr. Lobbed in dangerously, and it's gone in! It got a touch, I think, from Nicky English. Well, he may have been subdued for the opening 30 minutes of this tie, but he's really made his presence felt in the last 5 minutes or so. Declan Carr floated in a beauty. Watch for English as it dropped in, just getting the touch and directing it outside. Ger Cunningham and in. Kieran McGuckin whipped in beautifully. Cork needing a score, and they've got it for Mark Foley. But is it inside the score? It isn't. It's a goal. Yes, a goal. A goal by Mark Foley in injury time in the first half. McGuckin dropped it in beautifully. Watch as they rose up for it here, and it was Foley who got that final contact. The end of a pulsating first half. Ger Fitzgerald playing his part. 2 Tipperary goals by Cleary and by English, but Mark Foley replies late in the first half, indeed in injury time, to set up what we hope will be a fascinating second half. We'll be back with more from the Munster final very shortly. Been brought into the Tipperary attack in place of Pat Fox. Shaking hands there with John Considine, who did a good job on Nicky English in the first half. English is now at full forward. John Moore poised to get the second half underway. Remember, Tipperary leading by 2 points, now playing from right to left. Brendan O'Sullivan breaking up the stalemate for Cork. Cross towards John Madden. Runs on towards Tony O'Sullivan, who got the first point of the match in the first half, and he's looking for the first point of the second half, and that he's got after just 19 seconds. Tony O'Sullivan's third point of the game. Meanwhile, John Kennedy down injured, and a player who missed 12 weeks of the season because of a broken collarbone. So concern for John Kennedy. Sean O'Gorman. Pat Buckley. John Madden whipping it away, only as far as John Fitzgibbon. Comes out to Tony O'Sullivan, tidy and economical, and he has the style and the subtlety to strike a second point. 2 attacks, both to Tony O'Sullivan, both points, sides level. Donald Bonner. This is Conor Stakelum. Good pace, good control, good vision as well. Into English, and Tip are in front again. Nicky English now the scorer of a goal and 2 points in this tie. What a lovely ball forward. Great catch ahead of Dennis Walsh, and then did the sensible thing. Marvellous contest. Mark Foley doing well against John Kennedy. Tony O'Sullivan turning this way and that. Finally against Bobby Ryan, he lobs it in towards John Fitzgibbon. John Madden touching it, and it's swept in. It's a goal for John Fitzgibbon of Cork. A second Cork goal. And the Rebels go back in front. 5 minutes into the second half, Tony O'Sullivan again held it up nicely, lobbed it across. Madden was in some trouble. Watch as it came down, and Fitzgibbon kept his eye on it, waited for the mistake, and whipped it in past Ken Hogan. Cork ahead by 2 points. Mark Foley. A point. That's a goal and 3 points now for the man in the 40. The gentle giant of Cork hurling puts 3 points between the teams. Conal Bonner trying to get Python O'Sullivan, who scored 2 points and contributed a goal as well. That one which John Fitzgibbon scored. And he's got a point. This is really an all-star type performance by Tony O'Sullivan. He got 5 points when the sides last met in a Munster final. That was 1988. He's done it again today. And we're only 7 minutes into the second half. That was a lovely point, well struck from way out the field. Declan Carr going in, and Declan Carr being taken off the Tipperary team. And the man has come in. That's Colin Bonner. Tip fans looking on nervously and anxiously. Beautifully dropped in towards Nicky English. Again he does well. Showing good athletic style and a deadly finish. He's now scored a goal and 3 points, just looking through the notes we make here. Ryan waits inside, waits expectedly as Paul Delaney, who scored 8 points in Munster finals over the last few years, sees this one taken by Brendan O'Sullivan. Stopped by John Kennedy, but Mark Foley gets there ahead of him. And Mark Foley puts it over the bar. The best game he's ever played, surely, at senior level. That's a goal now and 4 points for the Timor League man, 23 years of age, making his Munster final debut. Brilliantly struck high and brilliantly struck over the bar. Cork making a change, and coming into their team is Anthony O'Sullivan, and he comes in place of David Quirk. Tipperary then seeking to bridge a 4-point gap. Something they're well capable of, with plenty of time remaining. That was Brendan O'Sullivan touching it down. Anthony O'Sullivan quickly into the fray. Robbed by Bobby Ryan. Kicking it away towards Declan Ryan. John Moore awarding the free to Cork, and this should be another point. Over the bar from Kevin Hennessy. And that's Cork's first point from Hennessy, and it's also the first point they score from a free. They lead by 5 points. So Tipperary really with a battle on their hands if they're to hold on to their Munster and All-Ireland title. This would be one of the big upsets of the season. Joe Hayes, Jim Cashman. It's a real test for Tip's skill and character once again, but they've not been found wanting in the past. John Madden towards Michael Cleary's wing. Dennis Walsh over there. Jim Cashman coming to his assistance. John Kennedy under the dropping ball there with Kevin Hennessy, who outfields him. Just played inside towards Mark Foley. He's having one of the games of his life. Mark Foley has scored a goal and 5 points, and I don't think I've ever seen him play a senior match better than this. He's opened up a 6-point gap with a quarter of an hour gone in the second half. Mark Foley is really making his presence felt, holding off those tackles with ease and with comfort, and he slots it over the bar effortlessly. Michael Cleary avails of the opportunity to tap it over the bar. So it's a 5-point gap once again. Race across here, won by Jim Cashman. Stakelham under it, but again the backs apply the pressure. Stakelham. Good rumbustious run forward by Stakelham towards Nicky English. Most things targeted towards him. That's Cleary, and that's a point. A good example of a player feeding well off the leader of the attack, and now they've cut it back to just a 4-point difference. Stakelham did well, got it forward as far as Nicky English. Realised that he needed support, and Cleary was there to feed off him and drop it over the crossbar. Bobby Ryan. Joe Hayes. Neat pick up by John Lahey. Got through 2 defenders. Joe Hayes again. Declan Ryan looking his first point of the afternoon, and an important one. It comes with 16 minutes to go, and Tip have cut it back to just a 3-point difference, a goal between the teams. Hayes very much involved in the build-up. Declan Ryan was 45 metres out, and the clubmates linked up, and the Clonulty man tapped it over. It's a thirsty afternoon. Michael Cleary, the free taker. Dropped safely over the crossbar. There are just two between them. 1-4 now for Michael Cleary. And Cork are getting ready. Cathal Casey. Cathal, who can play midfield or even in the half-forward line. So Pat Buckley comes off, so it's going to be, I think, a midfielder for a midfielder. Cork, I think, were worried about the impression that Colin Bonner was making. Ken Hogan waits. And it'll be Cathal Casey, who's just come in as a sub to take his first sideline cut. And a bad one at that, straight to Paul Delaney. But on a day when things are going pretty well for Cork, he takes the return and puts it over the bar. And Casey has scored a point within seconds of coming on. And there are three between them again. Nine minutes to go. Cathal Casey against Colin Bonner, but it's Bonner who wins the battle of the midfield substitutes. Getting by Jim Cashman. Blocked down by Shawnee McCarthy. Back to Michael Cleary. And again, a fine shot by Michael Cleary. He's slotting the ball effortlessly over the crossbar. And that's the margin now. Now to Cathal Casey, one of the stars of their minor team a couple of years ago. To Tony O'Sullivan, who started the half so pleasantly and so prominently. Anthony O'Sullivan bats it back in. The leeward stations back there. A real backs to the wall situation as Bobby Ryan clears it out for Tipperary. Out towards Conor Stakelin, picked up by Michael Cleary instead. Up to Nicky English. And the lead will get up again. Getting a point. Well, there is just a point between the teams. That's a goal and 4 points now, which Nicky English has contributed. He's getting there ahead of Sean O'Gorman whenever that ball is played up to him, and he really is causing havoc. Colin Bonner breaks it back. It's 2:14 to 2:13 in what has turned out to be one of the great Munster finals. Touchdown towards Jim Cashman, towards Anthony O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan against Paul Delaney. Off the legs of Colin Bonner. Cork just a little tentative, waiting as Mark Foley picks it up, lobs it high and puts it over the bar. He's got a goal and 6 points. Cork's leading scorer in the game. 2 points between them. Tense faces on the Cork bench. It's all to play for. This is John Fitzgibbon. Intercepted brilliantly by John Madden as it was en route towards Kevin Hennessy. Hennessy picks it up nonetheless. John Fitzgibbon to Mark Foley. Oh, can he seal it with another goal? It's denied. It's a goal! It's a goal! 2 goals for Mark Foley. 2 goals and 6 points. Of an amazing tally of 315. The fans celebrate. Joyous moment for Cork fans. Well, they took some time to feed it in. Ken Hogan initially stopping, and finally it was Foley who got it in. Is there a reply? English blocked down by Sean O'Gorman. Out by Conor Stakelin. Out as far as John Lahey. Tip needing scores, and Lahey provides one of those. 2 points in the game for John Lahey. But that's the difference. 4 points. 4 minutes remaining. Anthony O'Sullivan picks it up for the Cork men. Are they to regain the Munster title for the first time since 1986? Tip, who beat them in that classic match in '87 following a replay. And now it's Fitzgibbon. Can they seal it? Oh yes! A second goal for John Fitzgibbon. Is there a Tip response, or is it all too late? The defence in a dither, and this Cork forward line has really had the Tipperary back line in trouble time and again in this match, and that was Fitzgibbon with his second goal. Paul Delaney will surely have to lob this one in. Rising up for it, Nicky English, breaking it down, and away by Sean O'Gorman. Out as far as Colin Bonner. Picked up neatly by Tony O'Sullivan. John Madden. Mark Foley, who's had an absolute stunning afternoon, and he effortlessly puts over what is his second goal and 6 points. 2 goals and 7 points, I should say, for Mark Foley. An incredible tally. They're ready to celebrate. Game not over yet, however, and the Cork fans will have to be patient, at least for another couple of seconds. But they're ready to celebrate. Gerald and Mother O'Brien, I should say. It's all over. A stunning victory for Cork, displaying courage, tenacity, skill, and an undying will to win. Battling against all predictions, Cork win back the Munster Championship. Father Michael O'Brien, the man who masterminded it with Gerald McCarthy, and the selectors there, Dennis Hurley, Martin Coleman in there as well, commiserating with Babs Keating, who must be absolutely shattered. Tip failed to make it 4 on the trot as Cork win their 45th Munster final, thanks to a final score of 4 goals and 16 points to Tip's 2 goals and 14. The cup is presented to Kieran McGuckin. Kieran McGuckin receives the Munster Cup. It's Cork, the Munster champions, and Cork against Antrim in the All-Ireland semi-final next month. A team that was fired up before the match in their dressing room, and they really fired it up out in the field.
Well, it may have been an unexpected victory for Cork, but no one could say it was undeserved. Well, nonetheless, one must commiserate with Tip, who've been worthy champions these past 3 years, and they didn't relinquish their title easily. Well, needless to say, there were some very well-satisfied Corkmen after that game, and Gerard Canning got some reactions, speaking first to Dennis Walsh.
And it's a fabulous victory from a Cork point of view. Your reaction to it all?
Fantastic. I think for the reaction of the crowd there, even going back to Páirc Uí Chaoimh a fortnight ago, just fellas walked on the field and walked off it, and I think this is typical of, we'll say, the reaction Tipperary got in '87, and I think Cork are getting the same reaction now, and I think this is fantastic. It's great for the morale, you know.
We were saying it during the week, that was the ultimate challenge. You were complete rank outsiders.
Yeah, for that reason, it was going to be a sweet one if it came off, and I remember turning around there was 5 minutes to go, and I was saying, geez, if we can hold on, it's going to be a hectic night of it, you know.
We've Antrim now, and I think it's the first week of August, and we've got to treat them with respect. Like Antrim caught Offaly last year, and you can take nothing for granted. So we'll be back. I mean, like, hopefully now we might have Teddy and Tomas back, Tomas Mulcahy, and I mean, like, we've got to start again. Like.
But the feeling you're experiencing right now is elation.
Yeah, it'll take probably a day to sink in.
An awful lot of people just wrote us off, said we had no chance. And I think a lot of people meant that, you know, I wasn't just saying it. But we had confidence in the team. We felt that with 7 fellas playing their first Munster final, that if they could take fire, we were certainly with a big chance. And that's just what they've done, you know.
Well, those who didn't rate you and writing you off were probably basing it on the fact that you really hadn't done an awful lot as a team up to that point.
Well, that's right, but I think, you know, people make a mistake when they do that, because there is still an awful lot of pride in Cork hurling, and more important, there's an awful lot of pride in the players that put on the red jersey, you know, and they proved that out there today. They'd have died for that jersey.
Yes, Cork, then the Munster champions, and into an All-Ireland semi-final meeting with Antrim on August the 5th. With me in studio is the Galway manager, Cyril Farrell. Cyril, you're very welcome. Well, as we've seen all of this season, predictions really go out the window.
Yes, Michael, there's no really form in Championship. The form is only on the day, and Cork proved again today and Offaly a few Sundays ago, like, the league doesn't really count.
Yeah. You saw Cork twice this season. Now, you've seen enough of Tip to know exactly what they're like, but you had 2 challenge games recently against Cork. Did you see things that would suspect they were going to be the Munster champions tonight?
Well, to be truthful, Cork being Cork, we played them early a few weeks ago and they didn't look that sharp. And then Father O'Brien looked for a game but roughly 2 weeks ago and they looked a lot sharper down Charvel. It was behind closed doors. And we're talking before and after the game and he was saying like that if they just played up to form, they had a great chance. But on form, Tip were the favourites. Sure.
Well, Tip did not perform up to what we would have expected of them today, but I wonder was that Tip flopped or that Cork just simply didn't let them do it?
I would think, Michael, Cork played very well as a team and Tip have been at the top more or less for the last 4 or 5 or 6 years, and a time comes when the appetite or just the zest doesn't seem to be there. Cork seem to be hungrier today.
Now, this win for Cork, I mean, it's only a couple of weeks ago since we were looking at Cork hurling and we're saying, my goodness, how back they have gone in the last 2 or 3 years. But all of a sudden, here they are, they're the Munster champions. What does that mean to them now, do you think, for the rest of the season?
Sure, Michael, Gerard McCarthy, these are smiling now, everyone's saying Cork. That's the old story.
Yeah.
I would think today's win will bring on Cork, not by a month, by about 2 or 3 years. You had 6 or 7 new fellas going out there. No one knew them. They'll all know them now and they're going to play, they're going to improve a ton, like, you know, and it was on the cards that they're going to play very well.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, conversely, Tipperary, what does defeat mean to them? We were meeting a guy coming into studio tonight who reckoned that Tip are finished now, but is it that simple?
I wouldn't think so. I know the players will feel very disappointed. I think the supporters will be more disappointed than the players because they were probably carried on in euphoria of you couldn't be beaten.
Yeah.
The signs were more or less there for a while. They didn't really play that well against Limerick and everyone was saying, well, one good game or, you know, get it out of their system and they'll come good again. And we have played them lately. It's very hard just to stay on the top and too many of the players didn't hit form today. Now, OK, they probably didn't play that well, but also you'd have to give credit to Cork's 15 or Cork's 17 that played today.
Yeah. Right, Cyril, man of the match, we've come to that. Who did you pick from this one?
Well, Michael, and it was a great team effort, and in every team effort you're going to have individuals that will stand out. Now, to me, one of the unsung heroes of Cork hurling for even the past good teams is, to me, he's the underrated hurler of Cork is Jim Cashman, without a shadow of a doubt. But on today's performance, man of the match would have to be Mark Foley. First game, championship, 2 goals, 7 points. You couldn't ask for any more.
He really had a superb game. One of those players going into the match that would have been, say, one of the lesser-known names in the Cork side.
Yeah, there'd be a question mark over him because he's been around for a little while, but today he really did the job. And he got vital scores.
That goal was vital for a start. That was the one just before half-time. You were saying probably the most vital score in the game.
That was the most vital score of the game. It'll just show you the importance of the small things. A great line ball and a great goal. A poor line ball for Tip. Here's another good clearance out of the fence. Here's Foley again, catches, turns over the bar. Small things, you've got to do them well, and when you're playing well, you'll do them right. When you're not, things will go wrong.
Well, there were many fine performances today for Cork, but I think their winning spirit was certainly exemplified by that man there, Mark Foley, and well done to Mark. Right, Cyril, before we let you go, one last question to you. Galway, how are they shaping up for the All-Ireland? London, of course, next week.
Well, London next week, and we treat every game as it comes. At the moment, next week, we have a couple of ventures on to gain funds.